Hello folks, it is Kieran Kyo here, the Kyoster on CKTV and YouTube, and I'm here to talk about a series, an animated series, and a series that I've been watching for a long time. I started watching this series when I was I'd say about 7 or 8, and it aired from 1992 until 1995. I would have watched repeats maybe around 1996, 97 of the original series. Then there was a Batman New Adventures series. I'm talking about the Batman animated series. So yes, indeed, it's Batman TAS as it's named as short, but it's called Batman the Animated Series. And that's what I'm talking about. And I remember watching it then, when there was the Batman New Adventures, which was a rebooted version of the animated series, but it continued on story-wise and stuff. And that came about in 97, 98, around that time, and there was episodes of that. And I got really into that series, and I was around 10 or 11 at that stage, so I enjoyed that one. But yes, Batman the Animated Series, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, animated cartoon series of all time. And you can watch it as an adult, you can watch it as a child, you can watch it any age group, because there is storylines in there that suit adults and adult themes and stuff, as well as children. And there's also a lot of shooting and there's even some bloodshed in some of the episodes, so it is adult orientated. And of course, and it still appeals to the kids as well, because you've got characters like Robin, you've got characters like Batman, who is a big idol for children and stuff. But definitely a great series. You've got they released the first two series on they released the first three volumes as a box set in America a while back, and then they released a fourth volume, which is the Batman New Adventures. The first three had 85 episodes in total, and then the Batman New Adventures had 24 additional episodes. Then in 2009, 2010, they released Volume 1 in the UK and Ireland. And Volume 1 consists of the first 28 episodes. And then they released Volume 2 not too long after that, maybe a year or two after that, and Volume 2 consisted of another 28 episodes, the second series. And then they released Volume 3, but they never released Volume 3 in the UK or Ireland yet. They actually released them. They released that series in the United States, and that consists of 29 episodes. And they are, of course, 4 discs. All of these sets are 4 discs in each set. And then the fourth one just released there a couple of years ago, and that is Volume 4, and the New Batman Adventures. And that consists of 24 episodes, and it was released in the US as well, never released in the UK or Ireland. And I'm going to talk about them all. These are the 4 here. This is the first one, of course, Batman the Animated Series Volume 1. As you can see there, the red box with Batman on the front, and then some images on the back, and that. We'll go more in depth into that after. Then there's Volume 2, and that is another cool box there. Very good presentation, which is big when it comes to buying these things, because for your home collection you like it to look good as well. And then you can't get the Volume 3 and 4 in the UK and Ireland, as I said. It's not in shops. But as a big Batman fan, I decided I was going to suss it out online. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had got these about 3 years ago, these two first volumes, Volume 1 and 2, and I thought to myself, I want to complete this set. I really want to complete this set, because these two look so good, so why not get 3 and 4? because they were going cheap. They were going cheap in America, and I thought, well, let's find out if Region 1 works in the UK and Ireland. Then I went looking at reviews of Volume 3 and 4, and when I looked at the reviews of them, I actually seen that it said, one of the reviewers said that they actually work in the UK, even though it's advertised as Region 1, a Region 1 DVD, NTSC, isn't it they call it, but it wasn't a PAL. So what I decided to do was, let's order Volume 3 and Volume 4. And I ordered them, they came, and they worked perfect on DVD players over here. So they're actually region free DVDs. They're not Volume 1 and Volume 2 at all, or Region 1, Region 2 at all. So I additionalized my collection of Batman animated series DVDs, and I got Volume 3. As you can see, that's a purple kind of a box set there, so it's pretty cool as well. And then of course you've got Volume 4, which is the Batman New Adventures one. There you go. So we can look into there's the 4 of them, as you can see it there. So that's pretty cool to have the full collection of the Batman animated series. And this is, some would say this is the most complete Batman series there is, as in complete. The story is told greatly, told very well and whatnot. Some people would say that even better than the movies told the stories of Batman and stories of all the different things. Some would say that these animated series and animated episodes, like each episode is like a mini movie. It's really well done, and it's got you captured. Danny Elfman, of course, was the composer for the music for Batman and Batman Returns, the famous Tim Burton movies. And Danny Elfman, of course, done the music, and he actually done the music then as well for the animated series. Because don't forget, the animated series was based on the Batman and Batman Returns movies, and then they also done an animated movie called Mask of the Phantasm, and that was the movie kind of based around Season 1 and Season 2 of Batman the Animated Series. Then, in just before the Batman New Adventures, they done another movie, another animated movie, and that was kind of based around the events of Batman and Robin the movie, and also based around the events of the future events of Batman the New Adventures, and that was called Batman Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, which is another very good film. It was a very good animated movie. So they were all linked in animated movies, and then of course they done Mystery of the Batwoman, which came after the Batman New Adventures and before the Batman Superman Adventures, which came after that, before the Justice League series. So it's all links in together. But we're going to look at these volumes of Batman the Animated Series now individually, and we're going to look at Volume 1. And Volume 1, as you can see, it's a really cool box. We talked about the box already. We're going to take out now the unbox it for you. And here it is now. And we're going to talk about episodes of this, and some of the episodes of this one you can have. There's the, that's how it looks in the box. Pretty cool. Yes, so in disc 1 you've got the first episodes. On Leather Wings is a pretty cool episode, and then you've got Christmas with the Joker, you've got Nothing to Fear, of course the Scarecrow, you've got The Last Laugh, you've got Pretty Poison with Poison Ivy, you've got The Underdwellers, POV, and then you've got some exclusive extras. And some of the The extras in this animated series, Volume 1, include talking about the legacy continuing and talking about some of the characters and some of the voices, some of the guys doing the voices. Of course, Mark Hamill played the Joker in the animated series, and he has done in many forms, many platforms of media since, in of course the Batman games and the Batman movies and stuff like that, the animated movies, and he's really good. Of course, Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker in the Star Trek movie, or in the Star Wars movies as well, so big name there. Also, Michael Ansara, of course, he played Mr. Freeze in this series. Paul Williams played the Penguin in the series, and of course the legendary voice of Kevin Conroy played Bruce Wayne and Batman in this series as well. Disc 2 of this includes The Forgotten, also includes Be a Clown, also featuring the Joker. Two-Face Part 1 and 2, which of course gives you the introduction of Two-Face into the series. It's Never Too Late. I've got Batman in My Basement, that's a Penguin, the first Penguin episode, and also Heart of Ice is the introduction of Mr. Freeze into the Batman world as far as the animated series goes. Disc 3 now we'll have a look at, and Disc 3 features some good ones. The Cat and the Claw Part 1 and 2, which is very good. That features Catwoman in her first appearance in the series. Also, See No Evil, Beware of the Grey Ghost, which is very interesting because that episode features Adam West, who played Batman and Bruce Wayne in the 60s Batman live action series, which was very, very campy, very funny as well. And actually that series has just been released on DVD set there recently, and has just been released in the UK as well, so I'll probably be looking out for that in the next year or so sometime. I'll be probably picking that up as part of the collection, because even though it is campy and stuff, it's a legendary set, a legendary show. So yeah, Beware of the Grey Ghost features Adam West voicing an old superhero, so it's kind of making reference to his old character as Batman. Also, Prophecy of Doom, and of course Feet of Clay Part 1 and Part 2, which is all about Clayface and his introduction and his coming about. Disc 4 on Volume 1 features The Joker's Favour, Vendetta, Fear of Victory, which of course features the Scarecrow. Scarecrow is a big character in this, but not as good of a drawn of a character in the first series. I found him his later appearance in the animated series very, very cool. The Clock King, a very rare villain. He only had one episode, I believe. Also, Appointment in Crime Alley. That episode's all about Batman and Bruce Wayne, and it's all about his parents' death and stuff. All about the personal background of, and that's an episode that really is a prime example of Batman being for all age groups, and the series, the animated series, being really for all age groups rather than just that focus on kids. Now, a series that is focused mostly on kids is the likes of Batman the Brave and the Bold, and another series which was out there recently called Fear the Batman, or Beware of the Batman. Okay, also Mad as a Hatter, which is the Mad Hatter's first appearances in this Batman animated series, which is, I think the Mad Hatter is one of the best villains to ever be in the Batman series, and he should have been used more. That's my opinion on that. Dreams in Darkness is another episode there from Volume 1, and that is Volume 1, folks, and I have to say my favourite episodes from Volume 1 would be, I enjoyed the one with, I enjoyed that one on Leather Wings. I also enjoyed Christmas with the Joker. I enjoyed the Two-Face episodes. I also really enjoyed I also really did enjoy the one with Joker's Favour, and I also enjoyed Fear of Victory. So I'd say the best episode on the first series is Heart of Ice. And of course, this series also has won an Emmy Award in and it's not often really that you get, the Emmys going to comment or going to animated series, and them awards going to animated series. So it's a big deal that they won an Emmy for this. Absolutely. Well, that was Volume 1, folks, and now we're going to move on, talk a bit about Volume 2. Here it is, and I would have to say Volume 1 I think is better than Volume 2, but Volume 2 really did have a lot of good episodes as well. Let's have a look into some of the great episodes in Volume 2. So here it is, a little different packaging here. There it is. The way the discs look on that one, and another cool one here. So disc 1 in Volume 2 features the first episode is Eternal Youth, second episode Perchance to Dream, third episode The Cape and Cowl Conspiracy. Then, of course, Robin's Reckoning, Part 1. Now, that episode is a big episode. There's a lot of commentaries on this as well, episode commentaries on this series, which are worth looking out for. Other extras, by the way, Robin's Rising, and showing you about the Boy Wonder's character evolved over the years in the animated series. And also Gotham's Guardians, which talks about some of the mainstay characters in Gotham City throughout the series, including Alfred and Commissioner Gordon, etc. Okay, other episodes. That Robin's Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2, probably the best episode of this set, of this Volume 2. Then The Laughing Fish, which is a good episode, and Night of the Ninja. Disc 2 shows you Cat Scratch Fever, which of course is Catwoman. Also The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, which features Doctor Strange, and also features a few other of the big villains from the Rogues Gallery. Heart of Steel Part 1 and Part 2 is another big, fairly big episode. Also, If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? And that is a big Riddler episode. It's probably I think it's the Riddler's first appearance in this series. And then Joker's Wild and Tiger are the next two episodes of Disc 2. Then in Disc 3, Moan of the Wolf, Day of the Samurai, Terror in the Sky, Almost Got Him. Now, Almost Got Him features 4 or 5 of the big villains, and I really, for one, really love all the episodes that feature more than 1 or 2 villains. I think they always are probably some of the best episodes. And Almost Got Him is about 3 of the main villains, or 4 of the main villains, going around a table and actually talking about how they almost got Batman. So yeah, a very good episode, and there's a commentary on that episode as well. Birds of a Feather, very good episode. What is Reality? And I Am the Night, also good ones. Other great episodes now from Disc 4, Off Balance, which features the Clock King, I believe, Also, no, it's actually Off Balance, features Boomerang, I think. The Man Who Killed Batman, another good episode. Mudslide, another good one, featuring Clayface. Paging the Crime Doctor, another good episode. Zatanna, and that one features, of course, Zatanna, who is another DC character. So it's one of the first DC characters from outside the Batman, from outside Gotham City, to come into this series. So that's a pretty significant episode, because you've got Zatanna, who is a character that wasn't really used in Batman before that. So that's interesting. The Mechanic, and Harley and Ivy, which is a very significant episode, and it's all about Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy getting together and going on a crime spree, and Batman has to take them down. Yes, indeed, good stuff there from Volume 2 of the Batman animated series. And as I have to say now, as I done in the last one, Heart of Ice won the first volume's best episodes, in my opinion. This one has to go to, it would be Robin's Reckoning from Disc 1 would be a candidate. Also, I think from Disc 2 would be If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich, featuring the Riddler. From Disc 3, my favourite episode would be Almost Got Him. And from Disc 4, the best episode would be Harley and Ivy. So I think the best episode in this particular in this series would be Robin's Reckoning. Part 1 and 2 would probably be the best episodes in Batman the Animated Series Volume 2. So now we move on to Batman the Animated Series Volume 3, and without a doubt, this one, folks, is one of the best volumes of them all. Probably, this is the one where they had a while off after volumes 1 and 2 when they first aired. I think it was a good 6 months or a year before they actually released the episodes from Volume 3, and it featured Robin for the first time. They brought Robin into the equation, and they actually called the series The Adventures of Batman and Robin for a lot of these episodes. So that was interesting to see the change up from calling it in the weekly episodes, calling it from Batman the Animated Series to The Adventures of Batman and Robin. So in this one, we'll go in and look at the set. There's what it looks like on each side. Indeed, we can open it out there. Yeah, and that's what the discs look like. So yeah, cool. Okay, let's have a look now and see each Disc 1 of Batman the Animated Series Volume 4, or Volume 3 I should say. Disc 1 is Shadow of the Bat Part 1 and 2 which features Batgirl. She makes her first appearance in that one. Blind as a Bat is Episode 3. Episode 4, The Demon's Quest Part 1 and 2. Very, very good episode, which of course features Ra's al Ghul, and of course Talia al Ghul, and also it has Bruce Wayne and Batman leaving Gotham City in this one and going to meet Ra's al Ghul. Very good episodes there, The Demon's Quest 1 and 2. Then the 6th one has Silicon Soul, and then the 7th one, Fire from Olympus. Gotham's New Night is the name of the series there. A little documentary thing all about Batgirl. That's the extra on Disc 1. Disc 2 features episodes Read My Lips, also a commentary on that one. Also, The Worry Men Side Show was a very good episode featuring Killer Croc. A Bullet for Bullock, another good episode featuring the cop Commissioner Gordon's sidekick Harvey Bullock, and who's on the GCPD, the Gotham City Police Department. And interestingly enough, Harvey Bullock has been remade for the first time now since that series. He has been brought about as Gordon's partner in the latest Batman reiteration, Gotham, which is of course a great show on Fox and on Netflix. It's a cool show. It features Bruce Wayne as a kid at this stage. Only one season has been done, and it's a really cool series, and it shows you some of the villains when they're younger and stuff, and it's a really cool series indeed. Gotham, I'm really enjoying it. I'm watching it on Netflix. I never watched it every week. I'm not into watching shows weekly, so I just like watching them backlogged on Netflix. So I'm really enjoying Gotham. I've watched about 14 episodes so far. It's top notch. Also on that series, Trial, and also that features a lot of villains. There's about 7 or 8 villains in that show, Trial, and that episode, Trial. 13th episode on the 3rd volume is Avatar, and then the 14th one is House and Garden, featuring Poison Ivy. So yes, Disc 2 also has a few good ones. Disc 3 now, we're going to look at the Terrible Trio, Harlequinade, featuring Harley Quinn. Of course, Harley Quinn, you may note, she was never in the comic books. She actually made her first appearance in the Batman world in this, the animated series. So that's interesting to note as well, that Harley Quinn is she made her first appearance in the Batman world as part of the animated series, whereas all the other characters were taken from the comics. That's pretty big. And now, of course, we get to see her in Suicide Squad movie, which is out next August. So yes, and played by Margot Robbie, of course, if you're keeping up to date with the media world. Okay, coming up, also the 17th episode of this series, of this volume, and Disc 3 is Time Out of Joint. The 18th episode, Catwalk, featuring Catwoman. 19, Bane. It's just titled Bane, and that's a big episode because it shows you the monster that is Bane, and one of Batman's greatest villains. Of course, Bane was the villain in the recent movie, or the movie that was out a few years ago, Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, and of course Bane played in that one brilliantly. Baby Doll is the 20th episode, and then of course the last episode of Disc 3 is The Lion and the Unicorn. Then we go to Disc number 4 on the 3rd volume. Showdown, Riddler's Reform is one of my favourite episodes. That's another good one. Second Chance, Harley's Holiday, which is another very funny episode featuring Harley Quinn. Lock Up and Make 'Em Laugh, another great Joker episode. Deep Freeze, which is another one featuring Mr. Freeze. And Batgirl Returns, and that's another Batgirl episode. She was the main feature in the first episode of the series of that of this volume, and then the top feature of the last episode of this volume. So yes, 29 episodes in volume 4, or in volume 3 I should say, of Batman the Animated Series, or Batman, or the Adventures of Batman and Robin as it's called at the time it was out, but there it is. Volume 3, Batman the Animated Series, one of the better of the 3 volumes so far. I think my favourites in this volume 3 would be Shadow of the Bat 1 and 2, probably the best. Riddler's Reform, Make 'em Laugh is another great one. Probably the best of all would be Make 'em Laugh. Make 'em Laugh, probably the best of that set, featuring the Joker by, of course, the great work on the Joker by Mark Hamill. Well, them three, everybody thought it was all over. The Batman animated series was all over after these three that we just looked at. But then they decided they were going to revamp a lot of the characters' looks. Same writers, same everything except for looks. The whole look of the series was changed. You still have the Art Deco style, like kind of set in the 40s and 50s. You still have the characters, same characters. You still had the storyline continuity from the other episodes, but they just decided to revamp a few things. And it was still Bruce Timm in charge, still the different people in charge that were, of course, from Warner Brothers, and you still had the there was 85 episodes in the first 3 volumes, but Volume 4 came out, and here it is. And I think Volume 4 is very cool, because I was a big fan of Volume 4 when it was on every week in 97 and 98. I was a big fan of this series, as it was called at the time, The New Batman Adventures. And as you can see here, it's called in the title in this Volume 4, it's Batman the Animated Series Volume 4 from The New Batman Adventures. So it does say it on there. And yes indeed. So we're going to take it out and we're going to have a look at the episodes and have a little rundown of each. Okay, I'll just have a look at this first. You can see it there. Cool stuff. It's a great, great box set. And the fourth, this is of course the 4th series, or as they say, the 4th volume of Batman the Animated Series. Disc 1, it's Holiday Nights. It's all about Batman at Christmas time and features the Joker and a few different characters. Commissioner Gordon and Batman talk, a good kind of conversation scene in it too. The second one, Sins of the Father, which features Robin and features a young Tim Drake and Batman taking him under his wing, and he becomes the new Robin in that one. So that's interesting. The next one then, Cold Comfort, which of course features Batgirl. She plays a big role in this 4th series. 4th season, and of course Robin then as well is a lot younger. He's about, I suppose he looks about 12 or 13 in it, and then Batman's kind of like a father figure to Robin and Batgirl. And then Nightwing is the new character for the old Robin, Dick Grayson. So Dick Grayson goes off and becomes Nightwing. He starts being rebellious after the whole Robin's Reckoning episode from the last season. So it's kind of like Grayson goes away, becomes Nightwing, kind of rebels against the Dark Knight and his partners for a while, but then they come together near the end of the season then. But Cold Comfort is the 3rd episode, which features Mr. Freeze, a very cool episode, pardon the pun. And then of course the 4th episode, Double Talk, which features the ventriloquist and Scarface, which is a first of the series. He hadn't appeared in anything. A lot of great alterations of some of the characters here too. Mr. Freeze had a very significant alteration, as did the Scarecrow for his episode on this series. Also, You Scratch My Back, which features Catwoman, and then Never Fear, which features the Scarecrow, and that is a very cool episode, and it features a totally changed up look to the Scarecrow, which is top notch, a lot better than the earlier Scarecrow look earlier in the series. Disc 2 features Joker's Millions, which is a very good episode. Growing Pains. Also, Love is a Croc, which features the Killer Croc. Torch Song, The Ultimate Thrill, and Over the Edge. Then Disc 3 features Mean Seasons. It also features Critters, which there's a character called the Creeper in Critters, which I thought it was a very interesting original character as well. Cult of the Cat is another very good one featuring Catwoman. Animal Act is another episode. Old Wounds is an episode featuring Robin the young Tim Drake goes back and looks back at his younger days and stuff, and how he became Robin. The Demon Within, which I presume features, I haven't seen that one in a while, but I presume that one features Batman and his demons and stuff. The fourth disc of Volume 4 has Legends of the Dark Knight, which is basically three kids get together and they talk about their imaginations of what Batman would be like and stuff, and it goes to three different stories, and the third story is the most significant. One of the stories is kind of like a 60s style Batman, very much like the 60s TV show, and then there's another story in there which is very much like Frank Miller's Batman, which is of course The Dark Knight Returns, and which is of course out on DVD these days, the animated Dark Knight Returns, and it's a very, very good show. Part 1 and 2, I actually have them on DVD, and I must do a wee show on them soon on YouTube. Also, very good, it actually is a very, very cool episode, Legends of the Dark Knight. Also, Garrett's Night Out, which features Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and one of Superman's rivals, Livewire, is featured in that episode, because you may realise that there's a lot of influx of Superman in these last few Batman episodes before they of course go into the Batman Superman Adventures, which was the next series that followed on from this series, so that's very interesting. Also Mad Love, as well as Chemistry, and the episode called Chemistry. Beware the Creeper, which features that original character, the Creeper. Also Judgment Day is the very last episode of the Batman New Adventures, and of course the very last episode of Batman the Animated Series. So it's a very apt title, Judgment Day. Disc 4, that is. So, yes indeed, my favourite episode of that disc would have to be of that whole my favourite episode of the whole series, of the whole volume 4, I would say without a doubt would be Cold Comfort, featuring Mr. Freeze. Yes indeed. So overall folks, the Batman Animated Series volumes 1, 2, 3 and 4, 109 episodes of pure bliss, pure greatness. And you know, I think this, without a doubt, is very well deserving of the Emmy that it won, and it's also very, very well deserving of here they are, all of them. So if you're, you know, I don't know, a lot of people go on YouTube and they promote stuff and say you should get this. I'm not going to say get this, but I'm going to say if you've never seen Batman the Animated Series. You got to check it out before you die. Very, very good, very good show, and I really enjoyed it. And I would say the best episode, I know I've named 4 or 5 episodes there that are my favourites throughout the series, but I think the best episode throughout that whole series is probably it's probably Heart of Ice, the Heart of Ice one with Mr. Freeze, or it could well be one of the Joker episodes like Make 'Em Laugh, or Laughing Fish, or some of these ones. But they're definitely all great episodes, and I think a few of the characters very underused in the Batman animated series. Like, they could have used the Mad Hatter a bit more. I think they could have given him a few more episodes. I think they should have used the Riddler for a few more episodes. These characters are all very genius type characters, you know. And you might argue that there's not a lot to do with the Riddler, you know. He's all he does is do riddles, and they stand around and solve riddles and stuff. But I think there's always stuff to do with very cool genius type characters as well. Because they can always have henchmen, and you can do plenty of action scenes as well. Like, but overall, Batman the Animated Series has to be up there with the best series, even going against live action stuff, you know, because of the content being so adult orientated and stuff, you know, not necessarily all for kids. I think you know, you gotta put it up there with some of the best stuff out there, you know, animated, live action, animated, doesn't matter. You gotta put it up there, because I've watched some of the Batman series that was out in 2004, 2005. It started then, and that ran for 5 seasons, and it had very few episodes compared to the animated series, but it still had a lot of episodes, you know. I think it done 65 episodes in the end up, but I didn't think that was near as good as Batman the Animated Series. There was something about Batman the Animated Series that really touched the, you know, whatever way it was made, it was kind of like a cinematic feel to it. They made it like a movie kind of thing. Every episode was like a mini movie, like I said before, and that really, really is cool. You know, it's really cool when they do that. I think the music, the intro, like I always say, you know, the music and the soundtrack of a show or film is a lot of what makes it. You know, a lot of what makes you kind of enthralled in the atmosphere of it. It's all about the ambience of it all. So yes, very cool stuff. Unless you're a big Batman fan, you probably wouldn't appreciate it that much. But you know, it's always good. I think Batman the character and Batman the stories, and like even with the new show Gotham, you know, such a great show, and something you can get really into even if you're not a big fan of Batman, I suppose. But yes, indeed, great show indeed. Batman the Animated Series. My favourite volume, if I had to pick a favourite volume, would probably be Volume 1, with Volume 3 and Volume 4 as quick second and third. Volume 2, excellent as well, but you know, they're all brilliant. It's hard to pick the winners, or who's better than what. But it has been the Kyoster, folks. It's been Kieran Kyo here for YouTube, CKTV, and I'm just really enjoyed bringing you my review and my look at Batman the Animated Series. My collection of it, all 4 volumes, great to have them. And then of course I've got the series, the movies that came along, the animated movies as well. My Batman collection is massive, folks. It's great to have them, because you can never be too, like, they're always on Netflix as well, but they're always leaving it and going back to it and stuff. So when you're really mad into something, I think it's good to have it on a collection as well. But for the stuff that you're not as big into and you just watch casually, Netflix is the best. But thank you for joining me, looking at my series, Batman Animated Series. Good to chat about it, folks, and great show. Bye for now, folks. Yoster over and out.